Trojan Crier. Isn't it crazy that we're coming up on the end of the first semester?
Yeah, while most of us are looking forward to break, the FFA kids have been hard at work.
Students in FFA compete in a variety of contests throughout the year, but 2 teams have advanced to the next level of competition.
Carter Jones has the story.
This year's Parli Pro team placed 3rd at district, and the 3-year-old food science team qualified and competed at state for the first time. The food science contest includes several categories which test a variety of skills. The top 4 individuals from the district contest competed at the state contest at The Ohio State University last Saturday, where they ranked in the top 10. FFA President Trey Figgins placed 2nd overall as an individual in the district food science contest. He says critical thinking is a key part of the competition.
But food science is so unique in the preparation and that you actually have to critically think during every different rehearsal of the contest and during each individual contest.
Parliamentary procedure is a set of rules used to organize professional meetings. At the contest, a group of FFA members demonstrate Parli Pro law by conducting a mock FFA chapter meeting. Vice President of the FFA, Kristen Caudell, competed on the Parli Pro team, and she says teamwork plays a major role in succeeding.
Without being able to work as a team, you won't really get anywhere in the contest. Kind of like in a card game, you need to know what your partner's doing before they do it, and that's really what it's like in Parli Pro.
FFA advisor Matt Weed says he hopes the teams continue to improve and exceed expectations in the years to come.
I would like to place well and prepare well and have the kids succeed a little bit. Hopefully we can be in the top 10 in the state would be the #1 goal.
Good luck to the FFA chapter as they compete in contests throughout the rest of the school year. For Trojan Crier, I'm Carter Jones.
It's awesome to have such a successful FFA chapter at our school. You've certainly earned your 2 weeks of sleeping in.
Speaking of sleeping in, have you heard about the new proposed bill that would require schools to start after 8:30?
That's interesting. Laura Lemke has more on the new legislation in the state.
3 bills have been recently proposed or passed in the state that have a big effect on students' everyday lives, especially to improve their health and well-being. One of these bills has become a law so far. On October 17th, the Tobacco 21 law went into effect, making it illegal for people under the age of 21 to purchase or use tobacco and nicotine products like cigarettes, vapes, and chewing tobacco. The goal of the law was to reduce the amount of young people suffering from nicotine addiction and other health problems caused by vaping.
Well, I think the big thing with e-cigarettes and vape is they haven't been around long enough, so we don't have long-term research. Some recent studies have come out. They're starting to pinpoint some of the harmful chemicals and things. The thing is, it's an electronic device that is putting burning chemicals in your lungs, so there's going to be damage. They just don't know how much at this point in time.
Lawmakers hope that raising the purchasing age will lower the amount of people in teenagers' social groups who will be able to purchase cigarettes or vaping devices for them.
Honestly, I think that it's going to have the effect of kids just wanting to do it more because it's something they're told not to do. I think the thought process was to give them more time to think about not doing it, but like alcohol, I think it'll just give them something else, almost like a challenge type thing.
Many students seem to believe that those who do use these products will be able to work around the law.
There's a law for texting and driving, and people still text and drive. There's drugs, people still do drugs, and it's just, I think that if they want to do it, they're going to find a way to do it.
I feel like the tobacco law really won't affect anybody. It's not going to be that big of a deal because people are still willing to look the other way for an extra $20. It's like, hey, I bought this pack of cigarettes, I'm 21, and this kid wants it, but he's willing to give me $20 for it, and I spent $5.
An estimated 5 million adolescents currently use some sort of e-cigarette, which is twice as high as last year. Thousands of those students have contracted a newly identified lung disease called EVALI, which stands for e-cigarette or vaping product use associated lung injury. Many have died from the disease.
You know, the one thing I always fall back on is the brain's not fully developed till the age of 25. And so, you know, that development stage, and there are some studies that if you start under the age of 21, you're more apt to be able to do those things for a lifetime or a longer time than if you wait longer to start.
With time, it will become more prevalent whether the law will have an effect on this epidemic. Another bill recently introduced in the state legislature would prohibit Ohio public schools from starting before 8:30 in the morning. While it would only be a 15-minute difference for our school, it could be a difference of an hour or more for other schools in the state.
I have to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning to get to school on time. Our start time is 7:30, I don't get to bed until 12:30 or 1 in the morning, which only accumulates to 5 hours of sleep. And then we're expected to do it 5 days a week, get all of our work done, stay focused in class, and I don't believe that it's the most effective way to go about anything. And adolescents shouldn't be put under this amount of stress with this amount of sleep deprivation, and it's a serious problem.
The lawmaker who introduced the bill was concerned about kids getting to school in the dark, but the amount of sleep students get also serves as a reason that similar bills have passed in other states.
So when you reach adolescence, your sleep patterns start to change a little bit, such that instead of getting tired around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you start to get tired closer to midnight. So it's about a 2-hour shift for most people. During our teenage years, we should get anywhere from about 8 to 10 hours of sleep per night. So potentially starting school later could increase the odds that you would get closer to that recommended amount of sleep. There's definitely some issue with this in regards to maybe adults or your parents not accepting how much sleep you need, because adults only need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So the thought is that, why should teenagers get to sleep more than adults are sleeping? But there is actually quite a bit of brain growth and development that's happening during adolescence still. Your prefrontal cortex, which actually does not fully develop until your mid-20s, is starting to get a lot of different neural connections that are occurring. Cognitively, we're learning, so when we sleep, our learning gets consolidated and allows us to be able to recall information more readily later on. So getting more sleep seems as though it would actually be a beneficial thing, assuming that such legislation would actually make it so that we are actually getting more sleep during that time.
Unintentional injury is the leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 19, with motor vehicle accidents accounting for more than half of those fatalities. In order to reduce the amount of young people hurt in car crashes, the Ohio House will vote on a bill that changes the age to get a driver's license from 16 to 16 and a half. The age to get a learner's permit will still be 15 and a half, but teen drivers will be required to have their permits for a full year before being able to take the driver's test, giving them more experience on the road.
The benefits is you have more time to learn basic maneuvers, more experience on the roadway, different conditions on the roadway, because a lot of times if you just have them for 6 months, you're only driving during the summertime, whereas now you're able to drive during all the different seasons.
However, the law could have more disadvantages than benefits.
Kids need jobs, and parents have jobs too, and trying to mobilize them around with sports, most importantly. I mean, you're encouraged to do sports all throughout high school, and when your parents at work and you have no ride and you're forced to not participate in something you want to participate in, it sucks.
I don't think there's much that we can do, because you can't control what a student has in their car or not, because it's their property or their parents' property.
These last two bills will take quite a while to be signed into law, if they are, and even longer to go into effect. But hopefully we will soon be able to see a decline in deaths of adolescents and overall improvements in their health.
It's great to hear what some other people have to say about some of the current political topics in our state. We have some bright minds with some very interesting opinions in our school.
You can read more about these new legislation bills if you buy the Trojan Crier tomorrow for $1. You can also read more about the state food science competition and a really awesome senior profile on Luke Stupka. There's also plenty about Christmas.
That's it for this issue, and we'll see you in the new year. For Parli Crier, I'm Lula Burke.
And I'm Abigail Montgomery.
We'll see you next time.